Peanut butter and jelly, bacon and eggs, late call and early wrap. When two perfect things come together, they create an even greater combination, and that's why we love the eMotimo ST4 and Dana Dolly motion control package. Let's dive in on this episode of Beyond the Specs. Welcome to Beyond the Specs, where we aim to go beyond everything you can read on a website or a box and give you the practical knowledge on equipment us filmmakers are looking to buy. I'm Nick, and today we'll be looking at a very special combo package from eMotimo and Dana Dolly. The two companies have joined forces to make a motion control package for filmmakers. Now, the first aspect of the combo makes use of the Dana Dolly. And the Dana Dolly is a versatile dolly that can run on any speed rails or just pipe in general, but in our configuration, we're using their in-house custom rails. The kit consists of the metal speed rails that come in 3-foot increments, this incredibly smooth slider dolly, and some mounting plates. Due to the all-metal construction, you're able to put a considerably heavy load onto the Dana Dolly, and up to 100 pounds to be exact. Next, just attach some ball mounts to the slider dolly and the rails to some low boys, and you're ready to move. But be aware this configuration can be used only manually. And luckily, that is where the eMotimo ST4 comes into play. That is a very well constructed motion control head that was made for movement along the pan tilt axis, while also giving you the ability to control two external motors. For our purposes today, it's going to be the slider and the focus. If the Dana Dolly is the body of the system, then the ST4 is the brain. The ST4 is the core of the configuration where all the programming is set. The features of the ST4 is accessible through the screen on the unit, and that's where you're going to do all of your programming. On it, you can see the programming, you can see the moves and set the moves, and you then utilize the PS4 controller that comes with for wireless programming. The configuration also allows you the choice of battery plate, and that's fantastic because you can go with a V-mount or a gold mount, or if you're in a bind, you can always attach it to AC power. And that's actually one of our favorite aspects because if your battery fails, it's going to be a little bit of downtime, but you can easily switch it to AC power. Something we love about eMotimo is their collaboration with the community. They publish their wire diagrams, so a lot of these parts can be pulled out, changed out, or modified, allowing for a vast amount of customization. Now that we know a little bit more about the build and the system, let's dive into the actual setup. And it's a 4-step process with 5-step parts. So first you set up the tracks, and you have to do this with a couple of friends, attach everything together. Then you set up the Dana Dolly, which is probably the easiest of the system. You attach the ballpoint mount, then set up the ST4 to be programmed, and then also set up the track and the system and connect it to the motor. And all in, this accounts for about 30 minutes to an hour, so make sure to account for that in your production setup timing. For the programming side, there is no external app yet, so it must be programmed via the unit itself. And although there is no app or application, the PS4 controller that comes with actually makes programming quite a quick process. Wirelessly setting your points and processing your keyframes not only looks cool, but is probably the fastest way of programming. It makes you feel like all those hours of playing video games finally found its usefulness. On the other hand, programming through the actual unit itself is a little bit more clunky, so we certainly prefer to use the controller. Setting up actual keyframes is easy. It's as simple as jogging to one point, set your camera up, save that keyframe. Then you jog to another point, save that point, and save that keyframe. Simple. Furthermore, the ST4 allows you to program up to 5 keyframes, and there's a lot of great flexibility and creative potential in that, because on top of all those keyframes, you can actually change up the transition speed between those. The keyframing is quick to set up and more importantly, quick to edit. And it has multi-point keyframing as well as a time-lapse feature. I also think that the eMotimo's edge is that PS4 controller because having such a wireless setup is pretty great on set and allows you to get a different angle versus trying to point and click on the app itself. From a usage perspective, it's great. And it opens up a ton of creative freedom and ability because with 5 keyframes, you can create pretty incredible shots. Performance-wise, the eMotimo has one thing going for it, and that's its accuracy. When you need to do true motion control, you might want to go with a robot, but for its motion, it's pretty good and able to repeat moves down to pretty small margin of error. And that's important because when you're handing off your work to someone else, they're going to be looking for those errors. So it's especially important that your gear is accurate and precise. And that's where the eMotimo ST4 has its edge, and we found it to consistently be able to hit its points across the board compared to some of our other systems, like the Rhino R2. We found the system to be reliable, that we can pull out on any type of shoot and get the shot we need without having much doubt for its capabilities. Now, when it comes to true motion control capabilities, this obviously is not as precise as some of the bigger, more expensive things like 8 robots. But when it comes to its price point compared to other things on the market, like the Rhino Arc 2 or like the Edelkrone, well, we kind of like it for its accuracy and precision. It does a great job of getting 2 points and sticking to points, which we found to be a little bit finicky on other systems. This gets closer to motion control than those, but obviously this is a lot pricier than those. And when we had to do a comparison, well, we found that this is a lot better than that, especially for motion control. And this is the one we're going to rely on if we need to do any sort of motion control, like multiple passes. Although we find the ST4 to be reliable, flexible, and having immense potential for future expandability, it does come at a higher price point. The ST4 itself retails for about this much, and if you add the Dana Dolly kit, then it's about this much. And that price doesn't include the stands, which is about this much. That brings the total price point to this. That said, the versatility of these two tools is vast, as they don't need to work together to be able to work. And the ability to separate the Dolly and the ST4 means that you can utilize those components in diverse ways for different shoots. When looking for gear we love equipment that can be multifunctional. When starting to build your creative capabilities, you'll want to have a warehouse full of toys to choose from. You want to have the tools for any set, for any need, no matter the shoot, so you can have the ability to grab that for this or this for that. And the ST4 Dana Dolly combination gives you a lot of tools to play with that won't limit how you can use them creatively. Now, when it comes to the actual shots that these are good for, the ST4 and Dana Dolly duo are really great for those kind of dolly shots. And while you could do those manually, having motion control, or at least a motorized aspect, is really beneficial because it lets you be more expansive in your creativity. We've used these for tracking points A to B, tracking along a couple different shots and a couple different products, and we even used it as an overhead shot as people place things in on time, and it created a really fun, cool effect. Where this does fall down though is shots that are a little bit less dolly-like, and that's where we think, just a standard Fisher dolly might be a little bit better. That's it from Beyond the Specs. Thanks, like, subscribe, check out one of our other videos down below, suggest more perfect unions, and give us your favorite motion control shot. Take care, guys, and as always, keep creating.